Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Singer Dad Reacts. My name is Josh. I'm here for all of you pentaholics, and of course, I'm one of those myself, to do a reaction to their song Can't Help Falling in Love. As I've mentioned on some of my previous reactions, I'm a longtime Pentatonix fan. I actually watched them on the Sing Off way back in the day when they first came together, and saw all their performances and rooted for them in the sing-off and loved to see them succeed there. And then, of course, go on to have just amazing careers. But there are still songs that I haven't heard, and so I've... it's kind of funny, my wife... we were working on a set today, so she's a musical director for a local high school here, and I was helping her with some of the set stuff, and she wanted to play Pentatonix, a playlist, and I was like, I can't listen to that because, you know, it might be songs that I haven't reacted to yet, and I pride myself on doing only first time reactions for songs that I haven't heard. And so yeah, so this is part of why I need to listen to more of Pentatonix songs, number one, and number two, because I really love their music and I want to be able to listen to more of their songs. So with that, this is their version of Can't Help Falling in Love. From what I researched, it's from 2017, and I believe it's one of the last songs they did with Avi before Avi left the group. I think Avi left in like around September of 2017. So I also want to do a quick shout out to one of my fellow reactors, Lolly Wren. She has a channel called Fairy Voice Mother, and her reactions are some of the best that I've seen on YouTube. I mean, she is just so knowledgeable about, you know, what the vocalists are doing and how they're producing the sound. She understands the vocal mechanism of the larynx and all the different things involved with the head voice and chest voice and the muscles involved with producing all that sound, and she can reproduce the sounds of what they're doing. I saw her do a Diana Ankudinova reaction, and she was producing a similar sound to what Diana does. And then she sang like the high notes from when Dimash sings and things like that. It's like she's amazing. So if you have a chance to check out her channel, and see some of her reactions, and she really feels the music as well. That's another thing I really like, because a lot of the vocal coaches, they're just kind of there to just technically break it down and analyze it, but they don't really allow themselves to kind of feel it and feel the emotions of the performance and react to it that way. So she's amazing on that as well. So check out her channel. She's awesome. I highly recommend it. What I normally do with my reactions, if you're new to my channel, is I spend a few minutes going through the lyrics for each of the songs and kind of talking about what the message of the lyrics seems to be in the story and what it could mean, and then dive right into the reaction. So if you're not into the lyrics part of my reaction, please skip ahead to the reaction part of my video. I clearly section it off on my YouTube post. You can easily just hover over the bottom part of the video and you'll see the different chapter marks there, and you can click ahead to the reaction. So for those of you that are interested, the songwriters for Can't Help Falling in Love are George Weiss, Hugo Peretti, Luigi Creator, and I believe the original melody is from like a French melody from like back in the late 1700s. So it's a melody that's been around for a while that that was put into this song, and then it was changed for Elvis. I believe the original was actually designed for a girl to sing it, actually. And so the word hymn was in there, and so I think that's part of why it changed. This "Would It Be a Sin" part changed, I think, to accommodate it being sung by a man. So the lyrics I have for the Pentatonix version of this song is: wise men say, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can't help falling in love with you. And then it repeats. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. So the lyrics are very clear and straightforward, and speak of falling in love and how it's something that you shouldn't rush into it, and some things are meant to be. And so it just talks about like this kind of true love. Take my whole life too. So it's dedicating your whole life to this individual, right? And the love that just keeps flowing like a river and has that kind of, when I think of a river, I think of a lot of power, right? The water carries a lot of power with it as it rolls along. And so the same is true with love. So I think that's part of the symbolism there. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. So that's kind of sums it up there at the end. Take my hand is symbolic, right? So let's do this journey together. Let's love each other and help each other and serve each other and grow together and become our best selves together, right? That's kind of what I take from it. So with that, we will jump right into the reaction. For those of you that haven't already, or if you're new to my channel, if you could please click on the subscribe button, click on the little notifications bell there, so you can be notified of any new reactions. I would appreciate that. And let's dive right in here.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Wow. Their harmonies are so intricate, and the way that they are completely together is just so impressive to me. I've talked about this before, right? But I've sung in a cappella groups, larger groups, 40-voice a cappella choir, and then also I sang in an a cappella men's quartet with only 4 of us. So a little bit smaller than this group, but I can tell you that being able to stay on these harmonies and be exactly perfectly together when you're singing like this, it's very difficult with the moving parts and different entrances and things like that. All those things add different complexity to the arrangement and to making it clean and having it be all together as far as the notes and how everybody comes in, right? So they are masters at this. And the tone and the pitch is always right on. That's the thing that is another challenge with a cappella, is that if even one of you is sharp above the pitch or flat below, then that will throw the whole thing off, right? The harmonies will be off. You'll hear kind of a dissonance and an unsettling kind of tone there. So if someone's off by the pitch, if someone's off rhythmically, so if they're rushing it and someone else is going too slow, there's a lot of things that can throw the whole thing off. So these guys are just professionals and so good.
Falling in love with you.
There's Avi.
I stay? Would it be a sin if I
that's Kevin's part. Did you hear that? Like, so he was singing the little part right there that was kind of different from the other parts. That's the nice thing about having Kevin in there and having this other vocalist that is normally not a part of the harmonies, but he's usually doing the beatboxing. So to have him be able to join in, you can add these other little kind of descants or parts in there to kind of fill it out and give it its own kind of special flavor. His voice is amazing. That's one of the things I want to do, that I have a goal for my channel, that I want to start doing some of his solo stuff, because I've heard a lot of people say that it's really amazing. So if you have suggestions for that, as far as Kevin Alusla's solo stuff, if you could put those suggestions down in the comments, I would appreciate it, because I am going to look at that, because he's one of my favorites in the group. His musicality, his different abilities he has. The beatboxing, of course, is insane. His ability to play the cello. There's some songs where he plays the cello and he beatboxes at the same time, which is crazy to me. I think he speaks like 3 or 4 languages or something like that. And he's got a beautiful voice. If you want to see him really shine in one of their songs, watch their cover of Imagine from John Lennon. When I watch other reactors react to that song, I'm always shocked when they don't point that out, when he has some of those parts where you can clearly see it's him and he's going super high. It's like, this guy's amazing. You gotta point that out. They're all amazing, right? I love each of their voices, but yeah, the fact that he can beatbox and sings that well, so let's go back a little bit so we can kind of hear that part again.
Would it be a sin,
right,
if I can't help falling in love with you?
You hear that unison? It was right on.
Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my
that's cool.
hand.
I love some of what they've written in here with the kind of the parts where it's take my hand, and they're kind of writing some different things in there that are, unique from the original. And this is what Pentatonix does. That's so amazing, is every song that I've heard where they do a cover, in almost every case, they improve on the cover, right? They make it their own, and it stands on its own as something unique and improved through little things like this that they do, where they add their own different kind of parts in there and different kind of riffs and movements and inflections and different things that they add to the melody and everything else that make it their own and make it Pentatonix. So let's go back a little bit and you can kind of hear what I'm talking about.
Take my hand.
That part right there.
Take my whole life too.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, listen to Avi.
Can't help falling in love with you. Oh, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be.
Ooh, that's cool. They're just so impressive to me. And they have such good instincts as far as the musicality of it, right? The decisions they make in the arrangements that they make. And I know that there's a gentleman that works with them. His name's Ben, I think, that helps them do the arranging and stuff. So I have to give a shout out to him, because the arrangements are just amazing. They really showcase each of the singers. And this is the other thing that you need to understand about a cappella that is so impressive about them, and that is, usually in like a cappella groups, you're going to have distinct soloists that have solo type voices that stand out, that carry through, that are kind of the lead type voice. And then you have others who are kind of that blend real well and fill out the parts and things like that. But with Pentatonix, where they're unique is each of their voices is different, and each of them can stand on their own as a soloist. But yet when they're doing the backup, when someone is stepping forward to sing, or whether it's Mitch or Kirsty, Scott, Avi, Kevin, whatever, the rest of them in their harmonies are blending perfectly and not standing out. Like if you listen to one of their songs and you are listening to a soloist and you're listening to the harmonies behind the soloist and you're trying to pick out individual voices, usually you can't. I mean, obviously is different just because the bass is going to stand out, and his voice is just one that carries through because of the timbre. But for the others, like Scott, Mitch, and Kirsty, if they're the ones doing the harmonies or whatever, they blend super well together. And so you can't really pick out, who's singing what, especially between Kirsty and Mitch, because their voices are in a similar range and have a similar timbre there. So that's really impressive for an a cappella group, to be able to have that solo voice, but also be able to kind of, blend. And I've done a lot of this too, because I've done a lot of solo work and I've done a lot of choir stuff. And so what I normally will do is, if I'm doing a solo or I'm singing lead like I did in my quartet, then I'll sing with that, with more power and kind of in that solo voice. And then when I'm singing in a choir setting, I will back off from that and sing in what I call my blending or my choir voice. And so you have to kind of change the way you sing to kind of blend with those around you. And that's what they're doing, and they can switch in and out of it very easily. It's really impressive.
So it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand.
Beautiful.
Take my whole life too.
That was a smooth jump Bobby just did.
For I can't help falling in love with you.
That's awesome, Mitch.
But I can't help falling in love with you.
Ooh, that's low. The other thing that is really hard when you're doing a cappella music is singing in unison, where everybody's singing the same notes on the melody or whatever, like they just did in that one part. Never underestimate when you hear like a perfect unison from a group like this, because that's really difficult to not have, again, voices stick out, or people doing the wrong rhythm, or people going flat or sharp during that segment. So it's a difficult thing. So I'll go back real quick and show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. And you could see there, like what they did with Mitch, where it was intended that he sticks out because he was singing the melody, and that was a strong part they wanted to bring out, where he was singing a little bit higher in a higher register. So things like that, it's a stylistic thing. And in that case, you want that kind of solo voice and for everyone else to kind of, back off and allow that to come through. So it's being able to switch in and out of that. Impressive.
But I can't help
I love that little
falling in
right there.
love
And then they switch back in the harmonies.
with you.
That's low for Avi. Wow. Yeah, so another just brilliant performance from Pentatonix. They are just amazing. You get used to a certain bar with Pentatonix that you're just we're kind of spoiled with Pentatonix because they produce such amazing performances that you just kind of get used to that and you expect that. And what you have to do is stop yourself and think about what they're doing and how incredibly well they're doing it, because they're in a class all their own pretty much. I mean, there's a few other groups that are in a similar league as far as like home free voice play. And if you go more on the choral side, Voctiv. But yeah, Pentatonix is just so professional as far as the harmonies and the arrangements that they do and the intricacies that they write into the music and the flowing harmonies and the transitions between like key changes and different parts of the song. I've used this analogy actually quite a bit on my reactions of the storyteller or the author, but they are master storytellers because they understand how to perform in a way that tells the story and transitions the song through different parts, such as, kind of building it up, and then kind of telling the meaty part of the story, and then getting into the climax, and then finishing out the story or the song at the end, and doing so in an interesting way, right? In an unusual, different way, whether that's through different moving harmonies or different rhythms or changing keys, whatever those things are that they add that are kind of those unique things. They are very skilled at creating that and telling that story, and they are also very gifted at creating the videos, right? As far as the music videos, it was really interesting to me. At one point I watched the making of the Bohemian Rhapsody video, where they kind of show what Pentatonix did for the shooting of that video. And that was really interesting. They basically stayed up all night shooting that music video. So I like to kind of see that behind the scenes type stuff to kind of see the work they put in. But they're all amazing. I was sad to see Avi go, if I'm being honest. I think he's one of the best vocalists that they had in the group, but Matt brings a lot of really great things as well. So if you have favorite kind of Pentatonix songs that have Matt in there, then please suggest those to me. I've seen several of those that you would probably recommend. I've seen Sound of Silence. There's 2 or 3 more that I've seen from the new group with Matt. But by all means, please put like 3 to 5 of your favorite Pentatonix songs that you want me to react to. I've seen a lot of the more popular ones, right? Bohemian Rhapsody, Hallelujah, Can't Hold Back's Out on My Channel Attention, Royals, Say Something, Radioactive, Imagine, of course, and Little Drummer Boy. I saw that one. So yeah, if it's outside that group, please put your suggestions down in the comments. And thank you again for your patience. I know it's been a little while since I did a Pentatonix reaction. I do love them very much, and I'm a huge fan, and I just think they're amazing, and I hope you enjoyed my reaction. I'm going to close out by saying the same thing I do with all of my reactions, and that is that you need to know that you are special, you are loved, and you can accomplish your dreams. And I would add to that, with all that's going on in the world, that you are not alone and you can be happy. I think those two things are very important in today's world for us to know, each of us, as we deal with the challenges that we face in the world and all around us. And that, as I've said before, my hope for this channel is that we can all come together and have some light added to our lives through the power of music, and be inspired and uplifted and come together as a community. And I thank you for all that you do for the channel and for the opportunity to share my reactions with you and get to know each of you a little bit better. Thank you for your support, and take care.